What's going on, coaches? It's your boy, Coach Career, the General. Give me a couple seconds. I'm about to get these shares out.
Liliana said this is first. Dude said he's gonna pick up.
What's going on, coaches? It's your boy, Coach Career, the General. Today, we're going to wrap up the base inside our base four-man family of pressures. We've talked about the Sam, we talked about the Will, we talked about the Buck. Now we're going to finish with the Mike. Now, understand, this is our base defensive structure. This is not everything we do. We're just showing you a baseline where we get started with our scheme and what we progress to. So today, we're going to talk about our last base pressure out of the four-man family, which is going to be the Mike pressure, which we would call, again, it's the same situation as the Buck. This is what we would call Mike 3 Buzz, because now the free safety is going to replace for the Mike, and you're going to see how it all comes together. And then we're going to talk about base run fits out of the base structure without no movement, whether we roll the strong safety down or keep them back. Show you how it kind of all fits together. But anyways, base Mike pressure. As you remember from the other three pressures, the Mike is hot. So we got him squared up. He's going to punch this backside A-gap to his size. So if the Mike's hot, that's telling the front, they're going to move away, move away, move away. All our gap cancellations. We got the free safety that's going to fall here, and he's going to play the hook to curl area. Hook to curl player, depending on if it's zone or man. But we're talking about 3 Buzz. So here's your other hook player. You got your flat player, your curl to flat player, curl to flat player. So there's your 4 underneath coverages. Jack spins in the middle of the field. He's got the low hole. Deep third, deep third. So now there's your gap cancellations. If it's run, we got a B-gap player. We got a D-gap player. We got a D-gap player. So we're canceled out on the front against the run. That's their run responsibilities if they get flow to them or flow away, which we'll talk about the next part of the thing, next part of this discussion. But here is your Mike 3 Buzz pressure with your free safety coming down to buzz the hook, the curl area. The Will is going to buzz to the flat. Now, again, we just don't run to those spots. We got to be matched up with our threats and how we get there. In this situation, if we get too hot, the Sam knows his drop has got to be reflective of to where this 2 is going. So he's got to fall through the curl and match him in the flat. That's alerting the Buck that he's got to make sure he holds the seam if the tight end releases. So that seam is not too great for the jack backer. The jack safety who's spinning to the middle of the field. We got to get that guy out the seam. So that's got to be alert on this side. It knows Sam is on 2 if 2's out in the backfield. Buck has to get into the seam and hold the seam. It's very important in their pass coverage. If we man it up, corners got number one. Sam will have number two. We'll have two to three, depending on how this exchange goes. If two gets whiff right away, the Sam will get whiff, and now the Buck has to understand he's on the back. If the back gets whiff, usually that's going to tell the tight end's getting a vertical release. Buck has to hold the seam. Either way, he has to read 3 to 2 or 2 to 3, however you want to look at it. 2 could become 3, 3 could become 2 in this situation on the backside. Here, we got to clear number 2 to the backside with the receiver over here. So it's not as tricky over here. Here, there's some communication that has to happen to make sure we're all covered up on the back end. The run, like I said, our run gaps are canceled with the movement in the front. We got 2 D-gap players. We got a B-gap player. We got a B-gap player over here with the end coming in. The end on the slant to the tight end off the Mike pressure. Hopefully, we get a runner with the front moving. This Mike, if he hits it, he can hit it from depth, or he could creep show and go, and on the snap and go. That's probably the way I would do it to try to create pressure. But here is an all-out. He's coming right now. He's going to redirect on the snap. So there's your base Mike 3 buzz pressure out of zone. If it's man, it's very simple. You just match them up. We got 1, we got 2 or 3, depending on how that exchange goes. These 2 are responsible for 2 or 3. On this side, we got the Will on 2, quarter on 1. So there you go. If you wanted to go man, you're all matched up either way, zone or man. So now that's it for the 4-man pressures, which is our base pressure family with the 4-man. You got a Sam, a Buck, a Mike, and a Will. Now we'll get in to the base run fit stuff so you guys understand how this comes together, because you don't have to blitz to stop the run. You just got to be responsible in the structure. All right. So, depending on the call, let's just say we're going to go Sam. Back to the original one. We're going to go Sam. Sam 1 or 3. All right. So, there's all the gap cancellations with the 4 that are coming. That's how that's going to look. We got a cage player here. He's got to contain the backside edge. We also got a folded hole player here with the Will, who's got to play counter boot reverse. Check before he goes. All right. Let's say we get fast flow away. Fast flow away. Sam is hot. Jack knows he's got to come up right now. So either pre-snap or however you play it, too high or you roll him down. We're going to roll him down. Spin. He's fast support on the edge. There's your D-gap player. Corners, if we remember back to the first video where we were talking about divider leverage, whether they're going to play inside, outside, at what depth, off their 2 shuffle steps, they're getting a run read right now. Usually you're going to get some kind of vertical. You got to make sure you heard the vertical release. And if he's coming in the crack, call crack, because you got to come up and fast support now too. Your secondary contained on this situation on flow away. Our linebackers, we got flow. They got to play on a shoestring. One thing to understand about these guys, they don't got defined gaps. Their gaps move. So we get flow here. This Buck knows he's got to play A, B, C, at least through the C gap, through the D gap. He's got to play and try to keep himself. He wants to keep the ball inside of him to his inside shoulder. However, he's going to scrape over the top. He wants to keep that ball inside of him. This Mike is playing on the shoestring with him. He wants to keep that ball outside of him. So if the cutback comes, he's there in good position to play the cutback, meaning if he's flowing, he wants to keep the ball. He wants to keep the ball in his inside shoulder, and he wants to stay behind the football. If this ball's declaring, he needs to make sure he stays behind it to play the cutback. We got flow away. He's going to buzz. He sees nothing coming, flatten out, and play the back door. Free safety gets run read. He's in the alley. Another hat. We should be +1 on top of picking up the blocker and having extra hat into the toss side. And then obviously corner got flow away. Doesn't matter what he does. He's got to come run and be the touchdown saving tackler. He's the touchdown saving tackler on the back end. He's got to run to make sure if that ball bounces away from everybody, he can make the touchdown saving tackle. But that's an idea of the run fit. It's very important that this Buck and Mike, that you understand. I'll just give you one more look because that's fast flow away. If you get flow too, how that looks, they have to play on the shoestring. They don't really have defined gaps. They have a key they read through their gap, and once they get the picture declared, they got to go playing together. One's got to be keep the ball inside of him. The other got to keep the ball outside of him and behind him. If you guys got any questions about that, just get in the messages or in the comments, and we could discuss that. Let's do it out of power formation so you guys get a better picture of it. Let's say we get something coming right at us off tackle. And just to be consistent, we're going to play a D-gap player. We're going to move away, fold and hold player. Again, this situation, we got our keys coming to us. He has to insert and make sure he keeps the ball inside of him. And then we got a player that's going to buzz to keep the ball outside of him, but stay behind the ball. One to pick up the blocker, the other one should be free to make the tackle. Everybody else keeps telling them we got flow hard here. He should be falling in. If that ball breaks the line of scrimmage, that ball should kick into an unblocked defender. And that's what we're trying to do in the 3-4. We want the ball to kick to an unblocked defender. In this situation, let's say the Buck takes the fullback, okay? And it's important when he blocked the strucks, keep that ball inside of him. He wants to block the struck, midpoint him, splatter that ball. We want to make sure that ball bounces back in here. If it bounces back in here, it should bounce right into the mic or the free safety coming down or the strong safety playing whatever his run key is. He's buzzing his feet. He's got action. He should be flattening out. I mean, he could try to flatten out this way, or if he's walked off enough, he could come from back here. That's the beauty of the 3-4, the angles that we can meet things on and how we cover down those linebackers. We should be in a good position, whether we got flow to us or flow away. Counter gets a little tricky. That's going to be a conversation for another day. This was just base run fit, so you could understand how these things come together with the 4-man pressure practice. Until the next time, it's your boy, Coach Career, the General. Peace.